All right, everybody. Whoa, headphones are coming off. Welcome back to some TMNT. So basically, what I'm going to do here is walk y'all through how I'm going to do the color and the grad maps on this piece. So this is Slash from TMNT. Pardon me for 1 second while I sort of try to focus here a little bit. This is my roughy, color roughy. I did this in about 45 minutes or so. Set this up. This is my comp for a piece for Slash, who's like the evil Ninja Turtle, right? If you're not familiar with the lore. So this is what I initially did the other day. And then I went and turned this into some roughy lines, which you can see here, going right over my initial. Desaturated the comp and kind of went right over it and built it up a little bit more. Apparently he has a snapping turtle like beak, so I added that and just set this up. Now the line arts are pretty rough here. That's because what I wanted to do with this piece was actually just take it straight to Digipaints. I tried to record that, but Time Warner was not kind to me. Let's just say it didn't want to record nothing. So whatever. But everything's working tonight. So let's see here. All right. So I took this, and then basically last night I spent some time getting this shit done. But we got to not that. To no, not that. To that. So this is just coloring tonally. We can zoom in here. You can see pretty soft. It's painterly, right? So if you're wondering how did I get that far, I will be recording. I'll be doing this. Isn't the only time I'll be doing this. We'll be doing this a lot. So plenty more examples in the future for that. And what I'm gonna do now is basically set up the grad maps. Which I'm trying to put something on here to get me a little motivated music-wise. Not in the mood to talk. It is insanely humid in my room right now. I'm just dripping all over my desk. Nice, Rob. Really nice. All right. So once I'm done with all this, I merge it down, create the flat black and white. I do have a flats layer. I didn't make a flats layer. This is for selection purposes though. Let's go ahead and just hit multiply on that. And so we will start to get this done. And I'm going to walk through this because some people have been asking me, how do you exactly set all this stuff up? So let's just do it. I'm going to create a new folder called grad maps, and we'll just go this the old-fashioned way. I'll go ahead and select all of the skin. I'm going to unselect contiguous. So if I select on the skin, let me turn that up a little bit to my flats are not exactly the best. That's why I usually have someone else do it. I'm not that great at it. You can already see I'm getting some weird. And then we'll clean this up as we go along. So just duplicate that really quick. See where it puts me. Now normally you'd think, oh, I'll just take that and set it to color, and you see what you end up with is this real neon shit, right? And you could turn the base down and try to paint all the stuff, but it never sits well with me. So instead what I'm gonna do is gradient maps. Go ahead and select this, and I'm gonna come down here and click gradient map. And I'm gonna go ahead and inverse this. Click OK. Now when you create a gradient map. I've selected the area I want. It's already pre-selected a mask when I created it. So what I want to do is select this mask, create a new folder, and mask the folder. The reason why is I'm going to put the gradient map in that folder, delete the previous one, get rid of that stuff. So I can make combinations of gradients. Say for the skin, say the skin takes 3 or 4 gradient maps. Sometimes I like to blend. The mask is in the folder. So we'll just go ahead and label this skin. And we'll set that to color. Let me see if Brandon can jump on. Just check with Brandon really quick because I'm a little bored. I'm a little bored tonight. And I'll be making a condensed version of this, yeah, as well. So don't worry if you're like, oh, this is taking forever. So I set this to color. See, Brandon's typing something back. I need to send an invite to him. Hey, what's up? Maybe get some Miley Cyrus. Oh, Kyle. All right, so let's just start this. So the gradient maps will usually default to black and white, or actually it'll default to whatever colors you have in your foreground background. So case in point, like if I say had blue and yellow and I create a new gradient map, it created that over there, sorry. Watch, I'll create a new gradient map and see, blue and yellow. So now remember, anytime you create a gradient map, it automatically selects the mask. So if you try to select colors once you create a gradient map to change them, it's gonna be selecting colors from a mask. Watch, I'll show you. So if you take a gradient map and you create it, you're like, oh, those colors are wrong. Let me click here, right? And I'm gonna change the colors around, right? And let's say you were like, oh, I wanted to add another yellow. I'm gonna sample from another image, right? The problem is right now, see, it's actually selecting the mask. So I can't select any colors until I off click. So the best thing to do is once you create a gradient map is make sure you click on that so it takes off the mask. I tend to just delete the layer mask. That's why I put the mask up here in the folder. It can be a little annoying. So come over here and I'm gonna grab my roughy. Grab the roughy. Kyle has good Q&A etiquette. He's the only guy who deletes his posts after he's done talking. All right. Saves me a lot of trouble. All right, let me just clear this up here. And then I got my, so I can see my color guide here, right? Kind of what I'm aiming for. And then I got a couple reference pieces. So let's click in here and then start with, now what this is basically anything that's light in the image will become a color and anything that's dark will become a color. So if I click this white right here and I select right in here, off click web colors, and let's say I set that to this, say neon green, it goes white to black. That means I can take anything that's black and make it red or blue or purple, right? So you see you can immediately start to, it's always good to keep it a dark color, but yeah, if you wanted to go total anime, I mean, get it all cool cartoon colors, you can go pretty crazy. So let me take this here, and then we'll create a ramp. Let me just create some random color so I can start to see where it's coming in. Because you see it's, we don't want, and if I slide this medium color, see I'm getting more of that lime in there. Now you're going, wow, that's pretty colorful, right? Yeah, well, we can deal with that. So I like the way it's going. Maybe it's a little, click OK. I'll make sure I hit Control Y so I'm previewing CMYK, which makes a big difference. My CMYK, see if I don't, it gets more saturated. So I can come in here, and then what you can do is turn down the opacity just to lower the saturation. Look at that, right? And then you're like, but, you know, we want some hot spots in there, so let's turn it down to 50%. Then we can duplicate it, and we can set that to darken, and turn that all the way up to 100%. That means what darken will do is it will only fill in the whitest areas. It's weird. You click darken, it's going to fill the white highlights with color. You click lighten, it'll fit the black areas, fill the black areas. So you can see there, I brought the color back in, and then I can turn that down a little bit. I don't know yet. But I can also go to overlay, turn that down. See, sometimes I like color burn. No, color burn gives you a nice. And I'm just gonna leave that there for now. We can adjust that as we go along, right? The great part about gradient, there's okay, let me explain myself here. The downside to gradient maps are you could spend a lot of time color picking. Okay, gotta be very careful about that. Run around constantly adjusting colors. The upside is once you've made these colors, I like to stick the colors into a separate folder for gradient maps. You can just take this folder, drag it into another empty file, and they're pretty low memory intensive. So you could save these gradient maps per character. So let's say you're working on a character like I want to do Slash in a book, right? I got Slash, I got the turtles. I got all their gradient maps for each character already synced up. So I just drop the folder into the new file and just mask in the characters into the appropriate gradient maps using the flats, and I'm pretty much good to go. Now, the problem we have here, though, is see the masks. They're masks. I painted those in and after I drew it, so I need to come over here and just paint out those masks really quick. And this is how like I've managed to speed up a lot of my coloring time. But look at the upside of this here is I mean, I'm getting tons of color and I haven't done anything. You know, I haven't painted. It's all tonal. Um, it's really helpful for production. So like, let's say you're working with a client and the client's like, hey, I want, you know, you to change the color on something. Or let's say, you know, you're shooting a movie and you're like, oh, that background needs to be, you know, nighttime now. Well, it's really easy to make those changes with gradient maps as opposed to painting a bunch of color out. Let's come in here and clean this up. Like I said, I started messing with these a couple months ago. I knew that the people used them in games, but it wasn't like the way I normally color things. I wasn't used to coloring with gradients. So I put it off for the longest time, and I really wish I hadn't, because as I move along here, my work productivity is just doubled, if not tripled, you know, by saving me a ton of times with the gradient maps. What's really nice about it too is, when you get to the color, it gives you a lot of range. You just pick some reference. If you want it to be more realistic skin tones and stuff, you just sample colors from the realistic pictures you're looking for. And you can just airbrush these things in. You could take the gradient maps, mask them all out, and just slowly airbrush the gradient maps in on top of one another. There's so many ways to mix them. You don't have to just be like, I made the gradient map, turned it on, and there it is. It looks pretty cartoonish or garish. You can turn opacities down. You can mix stuff. You can make extra lighting gradient maps and paint the lighting in over it. The trick I found is well, yeah, I should always make sure I set that up to saturation, just to make certain that underneath it's always desat. Um, is to make sure the easiest way to do is to try to make certain that you start off with the color mode on your gradient layer. The reason why is you can paint on top really easily. If it's set to normal, it's a bit difficult. You have to start to layer things a certain way. And I'm going to make a video that explains just that topic. It's a little, if you haven't done it before, it can be a little confusing. So I just have to come in here and clean all this up. Told you my flats are not the greatest. Oop, turn this off. I'll never go back to coloring traditional. I do like to color a little traditionally when I'm not even on my roughies. This is just a really better way of working for me. I'm always hesitant to say I'll never, because then you come across a project where you're like, well, gradient maps might be overkill. I mean, I guess if it was just one flat color, there's no point. You know. So we'll start with the skin, and then we'll adjust that as as we go along. Might even come down to 40. So next up, let's get the background. I like to kind of start a little. So EG, put that underneath him. And then we'll create a gradient map. I'll click, control click that, select the folder, and then delete the previous mask. Then once we're in there, we'll quickly just set. Say I did not select. Okay, great. So I'll just quickly, I don't know if I'm going to pick that. All right, so then we'll come back to this. I don't like to hit reverse. And I'm just selecting. Nope, I have not read it, but I'll check it out. Mind management. Sounds cool. Okay, that's it, the darken. Maybe overlay or color bar. One of the things I need to do is come in here and add this back in. take that part out. I can turn the saturation down a little bit on the color. See how easy that was. And you can get pretty creative with, like, let's see if I put this up here. Like, if I wanted to right now, take paint in coloration, right? Just by airbrushing that gradient map right over, which I'll be doing. But you can see like that. It's pretty awesome. I know some turtles just want to see the world burn. And then next, let's get his shell. So we'll make a group. And then we'll create a new gradient map from there, and then set that to color. Select there. Let's try that again. A little purple in there. Maybe we can do a little blue, right? So you can start to mix some of the color into the highlights. And by just adjusting on the gradient map. See? Sure beats trying to airbrush all those little colors in there, right? We can tone down some of the saturation on that. Make that a little bit more darker. Just get some of the contrast in there. Then click OK. And then we can duplicate. And I can turn the saturation down at about 65. Let's try 80. Just the basic flats, Kyle, So you can see that right there. Just like you normally would. So you could still have someone do flats for you, and just use that. The only thing that I don't have really masked out very well are the masks because I kind of painted them in after the fact. I can duplicate that, take darken, put some of that color back in. And if I want, I could just go ahead and change that. A little bit more of a yellow because it's going to be illuminated. Okay, and then why is the PG off? Oh, I know why, because, oh, here, here, shell. So, and then let's get his little horns here. Mask that, and then we'll make a gradient map. Okay, go ahead and delete the layer mask. Set that to color, and then come back. It's pretty good. I think what I need to do is paint more of that in. So if your flats aren't perfect, you can just paint the color right on top. No one will know the difference. Look how easy this is. And let's go ahead and get his purple-ish pads going on here. In hindsight, I don't know if I'm gonna uncheck contiguous and just select fuck. These pads to be different. So I wanted that, and I want this and that. Yeah. Purple. And we'll see what we can do with this because he has a little bit of some purple stuff. Ish, pinkish purple. Click that off, click that. Set that up as the mask. Delete. And then turn that to color. Then we can come over to here. And watch Photoshop just get stupid on me. All right. Obviously, way too garish. So let's kind of come back a little bit. Figure out how I want to do this. Now, I could do just turning down the color. And then color burn. That might get me there, but I think what I want to do first is let's turn that back up and take this and put a little orange or some, yeah, right into there. Smooth that. Drag this hue slider down a little bit. Try to get rid of some of that banding. Click OK. Click OK. And then we can go ahead and turn that down. Let's take it down to 50. We'll duplicate. Color burn. Maybe 15%. Duplicate. Overlay. $30. We'll start there. And if I need to change that, I will. Just delete these unused maps. So if you want to bring the color up, saturation, you just adjust that color layer slider. And then let's just go in really quick and come back. I should have just masked these fucking bandanas out, but you know what? Why don't I just do that right now? Easiest way to do it is just create two layers. We'll fill this one up with black, set saturation. Thank you. And then all I'm going to do here is pick a real garish color. And just start to lasso around this. Because I'm tired of doing this over and over again. Well, that ain't perfect. Is it? Let's get this one done really quick so we can get back to actually doing the fun shit. Alright, so we can just put this down here. Take that, turn off the saturation layer, and then just knock out the mask. And then confirm that. Oh shit. Take that, knock out the mask. Take that. Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was for a friend. I gotta really sit down and do like a fully like lit, you know. That was really just one of those like I drew them on a whim thing for a friend. One of the few times I actually draw for free. I think I have like two, two or three drawings in there. So take that, knock that out, and knock that out. Let's come into the shell really quick. I'll deal with that when I get to it. So we gotta be careful about noodling this shit a little too much before you start. So I want to make his pads. Well, his pads are gonna be kind of black, but I need to. Let's go ahead and just select that, and then thank you for nothing. So let's select pads, right? Fine. New G. Map pads. Duplicate that. Use color burn. Let's turn that opacity down just a bit. Okay, color burn to an overlay. Set that to 20. So let's come back down to the skin. Turn that down to 20. Get it. Turn it back up a little bit. I'll have to work on that. So, and then what else? Oh, his inner shell, which I'll select the mask.
Hello.
Hey, 1 second. All right,
How's it going?
it's getting done.
We gotta say where I'm from. I'm walking here.
That's how they talk in Arizona.
No, from Rick and Morty, when they're going through all the flashbacks and all of a sudden there's like a cousin Vinny or whatever, and he's like, I'm walking here. Pops in the elevator and shit.
There was too much shit in that episode for me to keep track. You ever want to test how good your memory really is? Just try to recite what happened in an episode of Rick and Morty. I don't even know how you keep a story bible for that show. I have a belief about Rick and Morty
And that is?
that every episode's a multiple reality, is a different dimension of Rick and Morty. So like Mr. Poopy Pants actually existed. Since they showed all those different Ricks and Mortys, that Mr. Poopy butthole
Right.
whatever actually was a part of their show, just in another version, you know.
Right. So, like when they froze time, but that was the continuation of that universe, right? And then after that episode
Yeah,
was.
yeah, we're just watching different universes.
Yeah,
And sometimes they intermix or they don't, but when they do shit like that, like yeah, you're like, well, how does that change? It doesn't change anything. There's just multiple Rick and Mortys.
right. Kind of like when they went to the Jerry daycare and they didn't care which one they brought home.
Yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
Oh, the eyes.
Well, it's nice of the turtles to let him hang on to their masks for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you even talking before I got on, or are you pretty quiet?
No, I've been explaining what I'm doing.
Any good questions from anybody?
Kyle's been talking to me. Not my questions, but just talking about. Hector asked me a question the other night, and I gave him an answer on something, and then he said, "Hey, thanks." And I went to type in "no problem," and it autocorrected me to "no." He's like, "So no, I shouldn't do it." I'm like, "No, no." I'm like, "It just, I meant to say no problem, but it autocorrected me." He's like, "Oh, don't let heavy me yet." You know, like that's a thing now.
Oh, don't
When I
let it.
yell at people, yeah, you're getting lead heavy.
Rob left having to be so hard
And
last
you've been
night.
rigged. You've been rigged.
Uh, well, just like when we were at that Vegas con together a couple months ago, and people were like, "Oh," or Phoenix Con, whichever one it was, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, you're the guy who was getting his ass chewed out on the podcast and the videos and the everything for the past 2 years, year, whatever." Like, yeah, yeah, that's me, the other guy that gets chewed out.
1 second. Kyle asked me my noir series is pretty cool. Something that eventually evolved. No, that I did the sauces in color first and then realized that I can set a saturation layer on top and get a black and white version for free. So yeah, you just color it with watercolor and then make an alternate version and call it noir.
Yes.
Unless you're talking about that one where it's all scratchy looking, and that was just to see. That was just me experimenting at the time. But it was more like I say that it wasn't really controlled. It was just like, and what's crazy is that's the shit that ended up all over the internet. So people think I
Yeah.
draw like
You're,
that now.
you're Wolverine.
Yeah,
The Wolverine noir
right.
you
Yeah,
did
and
on
that
like
was
a
just like,
lunch
hey,
break.
this would be kind of fun. And it was like, oh yeah, you draw like Rob Liefeld. I'm like, no, I don't really draw like Rob Liefeld. Like,
Those are the ones you did on like your lunch break or whatever, right?
yeah, I was just trying to get familiar with the tools.
Yeah.
I'm just living in a bath of my own sweat now. Like permanently humid in my room. You
Yes.
know, like I'm just it's like Waterbed the artist. Like
You just need a portable AC in there, like a personal little portable AC. I'm too fat to be in there. It was too hot. I couldn't deal. Did you get that thing done today with the timer?
yeah, took all fucking day. You're like, hey, we ain't working on something. I'm like, because I have to simultaneously apply for jobs while I'm doing all this shit, you know? And not just for one, like multiple. And I'd like to say it was just a matter of submitting my portfolio and people telling me how good I am, but oh no, no, that ain't the case. It's a knucking nightmare is what it is. See if I can't airbrush some of this in. Just better. So we'll turn those pads off. Oh shit, actually. Yeah, let's keep it on. And then his metal. I think those blades are supposed to be purple. Yeah. I don't know about that purple though. Maybe I can. My fucking flats are horrible. I have you do them.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but there's been no time for that because it takes flat heavy a month to do, 3 months to do anything at this point.
Hey, I got all those. I got flats done pretty fast.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Got
It's like you had this win and then the productivity just stopped. It's crazy.
the flats. I busted those out like that
This
one night before the
productivity
heat
just was
went up.
like the whole like everything's just slowing down. It's ridiculous.
I'm going through depression.
Yeah, get the fuck out of it. There's work to be done, man. Because what will happen is when I finally get to certain things like Butter Bay, if certain people aren't caught up, I'm just gonna get on with it. You know what I mean?
We'll be good.
Okay. And then let's get that there and there. I wonder what happens if I. Oh. Kyle says he likes so many types into Google Rob Liefeld. It auto suggests 40 words of Rob Liefeld, and I hate Rob Liefeld. Should hire Trank to direct Youngblood. I feel bad for Trank.
Do you?
Because they let him make that. You know what I mean? Like I think I believe in top-down leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I stand by this is Fox's fucking problem, not his. You know what I mean? All the way through. I think he's getting the shit end of that stick.
Yeah, I think they need to just give. I mean, it seems like they only give like Bryan Singer kind of freedom when it comes to a movie, and everybody else is on a short leash.
No, Vaughn did pretty had seemed to get what he wanted.
On
In First Class.
oh yeah,
Singer didn't direct that.
yeah, I forgot about it.
Forgot about it. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, now I need that dripping spit of his. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm masked out because I painted the chin, so I'm just gonna go ahead and create a gradient map. And we'll just pick There.
I don't like it when people have snakes for pets. I think,
Serpentor?
huh?
Like Serpentor and Voldemort?
Just weird, man. I don't get it. I feel like people just own snakes to be like, hey, I own a snake. Like I don't see the appeal. I don't get it. Can't take a snake for a walk. You have to feed it rats or mice or whatever. I just don't see the point. I mean, do you?
Bro, I don't get why people own lions and tigers and shit. You know what I mean?
That too.
I had a friend of mine who got into weird pets for a while. He kept ordering things through the internet. He's like, I just bought carnivorous plants. And I'm like, what are you, a fucking creep show? You know what I mean? He's like, I love that movie. I'm like, you did. You watched Creep Show. Now you're buying. He bought piranha through the mail and was in Vegas and didn't pick up the box. Got home and it was just black ooze. They just ate each other to death. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Ugh.
Yeah. I fucking ripped him a new one. I'm like, you sick fuck, dude. Like, I was not nice, dude, because
Oh
I don't
yeah.
tolerate that shit. I'm like, you know, it's the last time he did it. You know, I was like, this shit happens again. I'm fucking reporting your ass. You know.
True though. True though. I just don't. I don't even. I had a friend just. She's like, look what my boyfriend got me today, and it's like, welcome to the family. I don't know, Venom or whatever the fuck she named her stupid snake, and it's just in a bucket. It's in a bucket right now, and I'm like, I just hope it bites. I hope it bites her. Just and him, and if they have other snakes, I hope it bites that snake too. And they just makes
Chances are I'll just coil up around you in your sleep and strangle you to death. That's
yeah. I
cool.
hope yeah. It's just I don't want anybody to die, but it's just like why? It's like when I see someone walking a cat on a leash.
Different. Some cats actually have to be walked.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
I just or like a bird. I don't see the point of bird either. Like you're keeping the bird in the damn in a cage.
It's full of opinions tonight.
I just it's just stupid. It's stupid to me. It's stupid. It is stupid. It's a it's a snake. What are you in the Jungle Book? This shit don't make sense.
All right. So basic gradient maps. If this is all I wanted to do, it'd probably be good enough for most people, right?
Right.
Like that's classic trading card art. You know, done. You know, but you know, Rob's got a fucking. I gotta get these bandanas done.
Rob ain't done.
So we'll select this one. Create a new gradient map really quickly. Make this one the Donnie's.
It's like a parrot. Would you want a big parrot, Rob, in your house, squawking, just sitting there shitting in its cage? Like you can't even pet. Can you even pet a parrot? You know, those things just bite at you.
So that's how you really feel.
I hate when people own anything other than fluffy, petable animals. I'm okay with bunnies. I'm okay with like a gerbil, a hamster, a cat, a dog. No on mice and rats. I'm sure there's people listening that have mice and rats, but a rat just, I guess they're not that bad. Rats are okay. I've seen some people that have like trained rats and trained ferrets, but there's a lot of dogs out there. Go adopt a dog, you know, or a cat. That's my animal rant for the night. This rant has been sponsored by Sketchcraft.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it
The
has.
views of Lead Heavy are not necessarily the views of Sketchcraft.
Who's lead heavy? He's that other guy.
Kyle had a chameleon once, so he doesn't agree with you.
A chameleon?
Bro, I'm too selfish for crazy pets, you know? Like, I stayed away from having a dog for the longest time because I'm like, I'm just too focused on me. You know? A cat was like the easiest. I mean, they don't really want to be, they just want to sit there and stare at you.
Did you see that real quick? Did you see the speck of orange on his green on his inner
I
thigh?
saw it, but
Okay.
it's the BG and it's going to be irrelevant
Okay.
because I'm going to airbrush this stuff in. So
Oh, okay.
right now I'm not trying to get it like cut and paste, you know?
Uh
Because I got
huh.
to airbrush, like, watch. I'll show
You're still gonna darken all that.
you. Airbrush it in. Mm, so.
You're saying you're too selfish for a dog, or
Well, we have a dog, but it's my
right?
wife's, you know? She's my wife's dog. And, which is nice because I get to be the good cop
Uh huh.
in the relationship, you know, which drives her nuts.
I like an animal that I can hug and it can just cuddle up with. I love my dog. Cats are too moody for me, and I don't like the way reptiles feel.
Yeah, man, I had a cat. Look, I'm just telling you, man. Like, until an animal clings to you, you don't know. Mm.
I've had cats before, and it's just never the same as a dog for me. I mean, there's some nice cats sometimes.
Chameleons are low maintenance. There's something to be said for having something around when you're like alone. Yeah.
No, sure as chameleon's cool. I, I just prefer fluffy pets, soft pets. And I'm fat. I couldn't have a chameleon. I'd roll over and squash that fucker. I'd feel bad. My dog's big. She takes up parts of the bed, so I don't like really small dogs that much. I like yours. Your dog was cool. I liked her, but I'm a big guy. I like just cuddling and playing with the dog, and I always feel like a smaller dog I might hurt, like like Lenny.
You're talking about mice and men.
Hmm.
Nothing like a little depressionary humor for you folks.
Right, taking you back to high school reading there. Shit, I don't even know. I think that was like
I'm
freshman
back
year.
now. Come on, man. I'm somewhat educated.
Oh, I knew you
You
knew
read
it,
that in high school? That's junior high, dude.
or whenever. I don't remember how long ago it was. I just
Sixth
eighth,
grade, man.
seventh grade, whatever. I don't know.
Maybe you were in
Just
one of those special classes, Brandon.
fuck yeah, I was in advanced classes.
Advanced for the special kids. That's what
I
they
was an
told you.
AP.
You're in advanced class. You got to sit at the front of the little bus.
I did, yay!
I have mail. I have mail. I have mail. Yay! So yeah, it just took a turn for the worse.
What was I saying? So yeah, not big on reptiles, especially snakes. Ugh, ugh. I hate snakes. I hope one day I go to an apartment and a snake gets on me, and mm-mm. I don't want to hurt the animal, so I won't. But ugh, ugh, ugh. I hate snakes. They're just. It's like when someone owns a tarantula. Like, why?
Cal doesn't agree with tarantulas either.
Good. It's just I don't like. What? It's my pet spider. Oh, okay. What about the other spiders that are in your up in your attic or something? Oh, I killed those, but this giant one, that one's that's my pet Roscoe or whatever kooky name they'll give them because they're weird.
So everyone knows I really don't have an opinion on this. So if people think I just can't say I agree, can't say I disagree. I don't really have an opinion on this
Oh,
subject.
what's that? It's my pet spider. Oh, okay. What does it do? Nothing. It stays in its glass cage.
Brandon does not like snakes.
I don't like snakes. I don't like parrots. I don't like
He doesn't like snakes. He
tarantulas.
doesn't like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones doesn't like snakes. He doesn't like snakes.
Nah.
Doesn't like parrots. That's Brandon.
Did you ever, you've seen the Jackass movies, right?
Yeah.
Bam Margera, he's deathly afraid of snakes, like deathly. And they put him in a like a big old square box, like 10 feet tall or whatever shit it was, and they dropped tons and tons of different kinds of snakes on him, and he lost his shit. Like he climbed the wall like Spider Man. He was out. Like he was crying and hysterical. It just made me think of that. But don't like snakes. Here's another thing. Here's a fun fact for you. Here's a fun lead heavy fact. I would like to hug a bear eventually one day. That's like on my bucket list. I would like to hug a bear. He doesn't have to stand up. I just like hug him around the neck like you would like a dog or something. You just
Like
hug
I
him.
was gonna say, like kind of like a burly
It's fine.
gay
Whatever.
man. Like
Yeah, that's fine too. If
yeah.
he growls, "Rawr," like a real bear. Like you go to the zoo, there's a bear. I don't like zoos, but somewhere that there's a bear that isn't just broken down.
All right.
That won't
So
that
hold
won't
on. I
happen.
gotta get back to you're driving me crazy with this conversation. So great, Brandon. Hug a bear someday. Yes. I can't let you're going off. I don't know what the hell you're talking about anymore.
Don't kill my dreams, man.
That's what killer of dreams. Rob doing is. So welcome to Sketchcraft. So okay, so now I got this set up. I need to start painting in some of this. So what I'm gonna do is just airbrush. I made a duplicate of the background in case I screw up. And in this mask, I'm just gonna airbrush in around the edges and try to
Is
light.
the airbrush is for the lighting, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to tie him into the lighting so he doesn't glow.
Will you also airbrush in the darker areas? Also,
I mean, the darker areas.
Well, when you're airbrushing, so you're just darkening.
I'm tinting the art to the lighting.
Okay.
So
So you have
so I'm on the light layer and I'm airbrushing in
the light.
the light into him to
Okay.
tint him as he would if he were in the scene.
So the light is a gradient you have, right?
This is a gradient map, yeah.
Right.
It's the BG.
Okay. And then so yeah, you're painting
You
that
weren't
in.
here for that, so yeah.
No, but I've seen it enough to somewhat follow on my own. I know a thing or two about art. Out of all the turtle stories, movies, comics, everything, what's your like favorite couple characters besides the main four turtles? I know Casey Jones is one of them.
Hmm.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say I had
That was
favorite characters.
that was a
Like you're
great
asking, I
that was a
think
great
back.
answer.
For me, I enjoyed the people who made the books. Like my other favorite characters would be Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman.
Right. I'm just saying, like, hey, Brandon, join the stream. I ask you a question. You just go, I don't know. And then just silence. It's like, all right, cool. That's a good
No,
segue into the
I didn't go. Oh
next.
my God, this character's my. This is the reason why I read the book because two guys made it. So, and there were just too many people. You forget, man. There was a lot of. You had the cartoon version of the turtles at the time. You had the movie version of the turtles at the time. You had the comic book version of the turtles at the time. This is all simultaneously. You
Right.
know, you had the Archie Comics universe version, which was way different.
Yep. I had those too.
They were drawn well though. I thought. It was cartoony art. I thought it was pretty good cartoony art.
That's cool.
How do I decide when it's done? When it looks like something I'd hang on my wall.
When Rob falls asleep at the desk, that's when it's done. So this one should be done around 3 a.m.
It needs lighting and stuff. Yeah. I mentioned why you could stop at a certain point. So let's say you were doing this for, like, if you're doing this for like stuff for like magic cards and shit. I mean, like that's you can maybe add a little rim light and you're good to go. So and that's basically what I'm gonna do is just kind of come in here and add lighting on top. You know, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to like overkill myself. The point is to make this more efficient. But I think with the gradient maps, like they're a really good base. They're great for getting all the lighting set up, and then you can paint in details on top. You know, I'm not trying to replicate effort too much though, too.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be aware of that. You're not intentionally redoing stuff that you already did. Um, but I also want to make certain that you can end up a little dark sometimes. I want to make sure I go in there and it can be seen, and that's the hardest part I've had. Like, and I don't feel I still have a good handle on it. Is balancing the brightness of the piece. Um, You know, what do I let fall into shadow? What do I let people see? Is it too dark? Is it too bright? So what I'm trying to do now is just airbrushing some of those purples from the lighting into his greens. So they got some color fluctuation in there. But I won't lie, this is way more fun than trying to mix this fucking color manually.
Right. No, I don't know. I think it's my monitor, but the Donatello bandana, is that pretty dark, or is that you already put the purple in?
Purple's in there. Just goes purple to black. What else are you gonna go purple to? You know,
Hmm.
like
It's probably just my screen.
yeah, I could probably just switch those colors around really quick.
I didn't mean you had to change it. I was just saying
Yeah, you did.
it looked too dark.
No, yeah, I know. I've already been there with you.
Just being
Does
a
the
friend
sword
and
curve like that?
just
Does the
being a
sword
friend
curve?
and a fan.
Does it just being a friend?
Good times.
Oh, it's Golden Girls.
No, I knew that.
Yeah,
Thank you for being a friend. I can sing the whole song by
I know
heart.
you can, because you're a little bitch.
Oh, dick.
See, I never had those. Like, if someone had a weird pet as a kid, I just ignored it and moved on. Things that used to weird me out when I was younger was like if someone made mac and cheese a little too much in their house, and you come into the house and it kind of had this like, that's a strong waft of mac and cheese. That's like days of mac and cheese. You could just smell like they just been making processed food for like a month. Damn, that's some heavy cheese.
I
Not
don't
the
think
good kind too.
I don't think I've ever been in someone's house where they've made too much mac
Oh
and
yeah, you
cheese.
could smell it. It's heavy.
Maybe like if they made too many tacos and it has that
Or like
fried
when a
smell.
kid eats apples and he's got like dirty fucking apple face. Used to drive me nuts. Like dirt all over us from the sticky apple shit.
You sound fun. I'm gonna have an apple. Oh, get the fuck away from me.
My hands before you play out in the dirt. Or people who leave food on the counter all night and then eat it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. I had a friend, his family was like you're just gonna eat that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you don't think that might? No. All right. Well, I'll never eat here, and I never did. Like, I never ate at his place. So we go from that to that. See, not as glowy, right? He isn't like, whoa. Let's see. Now we need to light them. And actually, the flames need a spotlight. They're a little. So let's go to. Where's the BG? Let's select that and come down here. Nice. take this, turn that up really quickly.
Fucking Python.
Invert that.
I always like the little flicker flames in the air that you put, like that crackle off from flames.
Embers.
Yeah, the embers. I always like that. Like a lot of people either forget them or they go way too much, like we've seen. You
Oh,
know?
I need a few in front of them, but I didn't want to add it
Yeah.
at first and have to spot color them. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's easier to do that. But I
But
did add some in the back. Yeah.
yeah, like that. Like we've had our discussion about that, where people go way too many of those, and it looks like fireworks going off on the page.
Oh, I like the G.I. Joe posters.
Yeah,
Like the
and
Mission Impossible openings.
it wasn't there was a Black Widow one or something at the job, the old job, I think had it. I don't
Oh, from the style guide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's flames, so we need more embers. How many more? More. Oh, cool! You added the Donatello bandana. I didn't see it there before.
Shut up. Laugh it up. How's your portfolio?
Uh, hey, see, I know. I see. What I do is, I say a joke, right, and I get a good one in, and then I prepare myself for the 20 that you launch back after. It's like a boxing match. I'll get one little jab in, and then just a melee attack. I'm patient.
No, you're not. You're lazy. You're just willing to wait shit out. The beat's trying. It's not patience.
You don't know me. Um, did you watch episode 5 yet?
No. No, man, I was doing this all fucking night yesterday. I'm behind on my game cave shit because of this, but
Is Brad Bird directing Incredibles 2?
Yeah, they wouldn't make it without him. He wrote and directed the first one. He wrote it, so he's writing this one too.
Right.
All right, so grad maps. Now we gotta go in there. Now here's the thing. I recommend saving a copy of this and working on it because once you get the basic grad maps done, once you start to paint on top of it, they can eat up some memory. Um, it's really a processing power because it's like the grad maps are going to try and compensate, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'll try and work on top. Slow things down. Yeah, Iron Giant's coming back to the movie theaters for 2 days. September 30th and October 4th, if I remember right. Boom off the memory. Look at that.
You see, they're gonna have Star Wars and IMAX for a whole month.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
You shocked?
recommend. I recommend anyone going to see it wait a couple days or a week or so. No rush. I'll wait a week for that. But had a little extra money today, and I went to the art store, and that's how I got the art boards, and the gesso. Because I know you said I could do it on canvas, but I figure if I'm doing it that same way, I might as well do it on art boards.
Just needs to be big, bro. That's the whole
It's
point.
right. It's 24 by 30. The one I got, so it's pretty big. Joe coming over tomorrow night.
Possibly.
Do you think in the trailers they'll show Doomsday or Aquaman for the Batman vs Superman movie? Or you think that'll be something they'll wait till release?
I don't know. I don't think it matters. They don't
Right.
have to at this point. They don't have to show much of anything at this point. Just keep showing Superman fighting Batman, and that'll get people in the theaters.
Right. My favorite argument still is when people are like, "Oh, well, Batman would never fight Superman," or "That would never happen," and people are, have you read the books? No. I mean, anything can happen. It's a movie. Looking good. Did you get your walk in today?
Sadly, no.
Uh,
I spent a lot of time getting paperwork squared away.
right.
Sometimes something doesn't get done. Yeah.
Don't feel bad. I didn't get a walk in today either. But I spend all day on my feet anyways. Did you probably didn't, but Mondo, I think it's Mondo. They're putting out these turtle toys that are based off
I'll
more.
never be able to afford that. I think they're
Yeah,
awesome, but
yeah.
it's like gonna
I
be
think they're.
3 grand. you know.
I wanted to get one of those. The what was it? The Revotech ones we saw
Yeah.
with the cool stands, but I mean, obviously, I don't have the money, but eventually, I'll get one off like eBay or Amazon or something if someone has it for cheap.
I mean, at that point, I'm better off just like sculpting my own.
Yeah, I got ZBrush. I can just.
No, I mean like actually just buying figures and.
I know it's just that was my passive aggressive way of saying I wish I had ZBrush.
Well, I had to hook you up, but there's no way you can use it right now. You're sharing computers, so what's the point?
I can make time.
Yeah.
She's asleep, or
No, you need to be painting right now.
no, I can't paint beyond this. Eh,
Why can't you paint?
Well, I'm on my corded headset to the computer. I mean, I guess I could.
I get a long cord.
I'll just get. Maybe I gotta just set up the. Well, that's what I was clearing off. We have the desk where the old computer is. I was clearing that off today when I was laying stuff down. So I'm trying to make a setup for that.
I wonder if that's not the brush.
What's the name of the brothers that did the Captain America Winter Soldier? The Russo brothers. They're gonna do the next Avengers movie, right?
Next two. It's two part.
Now, do you think that's only because we didn't want to do them, right? That's the only reason.
No.
Or because Captain America
Oh,
was.
I'm not in that room. I can't tell you. You know,
Yeah, but you got your ear to the tracks, Rob.
no one's explained if he wasn't beaten out by them.
Right.
His contract was up at a certain time. He chose not to renew. You know, I think when you look at making two, I mean, look, they're a team. You know, one guy making two movies is not going to happen. You know, simultaneously, like it's just not. It's not for Whedon. You know,
Right.
so. But I don't know, Brandon. I can't tell you.
And did they write it also? The Captain America movie.
I believe so. Yeah. He used to work on Community, man. So you know.
I'll be right back.
This is the part I'm a little uncertain how I want to do.
I'm back. Hooray.
Pretty amazing how I could just transform my whole portfolio in a month or two, huh? Do do do.
Right. It gets better, folks. You can get better.
Of course, my friends in Hollywood say I'm still too cartoony. I'm like, look, man, no offense, but the art I see coming out of Hollywood ain't exactly. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so I think when I send some samples, I'll just buy a fucking copy of Poser. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna draw shit. I'll just pose over models and shit. You know? Fuck it.
That's the way to go. And that's the spirit.
It's funny because sometimes they'll say like, there's one dude, starting up a production company, was like, he sent me all this reference. Half of it was Dave Wilkins art. I'm like, there ain't nothing realistic about this shit. You know what I mean? It ain't
Right.
a far cry from this. You know what I mean? Like, it's digitally painted. Okay, we can remove the lines. I can do that. Whatever. I'm not good enough. It's clearly the problem.
I have faith you'll get better, Rob.
Someday.
One day.
You should just think where the light's gonna hit it, and it's not outlining the whole fucking thing.
Right.
And I'm just painting with this cream color right on top, using a dimer. Kyle's like, dude, Scotty Young is cartoony. I'm like, I know, but I'm told I'm too cartoony. We're just afraid you're just too darn loud, you know? I'm just misunderstood in my own time, motherfuckers. It's like Phoebe says, I would, God, I'd love to be misunderstood, man. I appreciate my own time. Dude, for 20 fucking years, every time a new copy of Windows rolls out, they roll out this video that Jennifer Aniston made with Matthew Perry fronting Windows 95, and they were kind of in character, but they couldn't contractually do it, so
Uh-huh.
they were sort of acting like their friends' characters, but they didn't have obviously the friends' writers, so
Right.
they're like improv, and it's really bad. And every fucking time a new copy is, this video rolls out as if this internet just discovered the motherfucker, you know?
Right.
And I was just waiting. How long do you think it'll take this time? And then today it hit. I'm like, yeah. Must have come with a nice big fat Microsoft paycheck. See what a difference rim lines make. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Should have thrown a bunch of stone texture over the rocks. Yeah. Grab some stone texture off fucking Google and watch some guy go, that was my texture. You owe me money. Like, shut up. I have a bunch of my own. Let's see. Textures, textures, textures.
Hey, remember when you had that weird cough for a while? When you're all
Yep.
when you had the stress and sick and everything. Watch it. It's gonna make it come back now that I said it. But I just forgot. I forgot about it. Like you had it for so long, and then all of a sudden it was just gone.
Was that all you wanted to say?
I just coughed, and it reminded me of you having that cough. Hey, man, I don't got to give like great speeches and intellectual stuff on this. I mean, I'm here to just I'm just here. It's almost midnight. I'll be up soon. Going to my wonderful, nice, cool, fun, great air conditioned job with fun coworkers I like to be around. You heard them today. You liked it.
Trap living next door to the kid from hell.
I would imagine that's just like working with the boss slash dad from hell. I bet they have a lot in common. Irrational. One minute they're happy, next minute they're screaming.
No, the difference is you're related. You have it worse.
I know. You guys get any storms or anything over there? Or has it been pretty calm?
No, it's just been humid. I mean, getting all the bullshit effect of a storm that would be here without the water.
Right. It's been pretty humid here. We got a crazy flooded storm just for like an hour yesterday, and then nothing but humidity today.
I did it as an official shirt, Kyle,
What was the
and
question?
it was rejected. He was asking me, he's like, if my Vader Skull design was being turned into an official shirt. I designed it as an official shirt when I was working at this T-shirt company. It was rejected by Lucasfilm because they said that they didn't want skulls associated with Star Wars. Walmart just bought it 3 years later, and the company that sold it, along with a bunch of other art that I did for them, refused to. They're not interested in bringing me back on. So, you know, really interesting world we live in because they don't like me drawing fan art. Which it's not like they told me that before I started working there, by the way. It's like you got this giant fucking speech. Now artists that are working there, like they've been told if they do any fan art, they'll get fired.
Yeah,
You believe that shit?
I was just gonna ask you if they tell.
Yeah. So now artists are like all they do is just draw pictures of naked women all day.
That's weird.
You know? It's the only other thing they can think to draw. That'll get them views. Like, they don't want to be blacklisted.
That's so crazy, man. I think you're the first person, or I don't ever really have ever heard anyone blacklisted from something before.
Yeah, well, I am. Like, you really shouldn't talk about that stuff. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Just fucking take it? You know what I mean?
Fuck that shit.
Like, give me some rules before I start. I won't break them.
Right.
Up and fucking change the rules on me and then fucking hold me accountable to it. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Meanwhile, for the same exact fan art that they blacklisted me for, another major company picked me up to do freelance work for the same fan art. So I'm living in the fucking twilight zone right now. That's all I gotta say. Like I don't have any. Uh,
It's almost like a prank. It's like
it,
when they
yeah, it almost feels like a giant prank. Are we just fucking with this? I mean, is someone just what is it?
that is funny. Though. Yeah, I really like that one art. Wait. Are you sure? Yeah, that one. Well, all right.
And I can't go around telling a bunch of you know contractors. I've been blacklisted for fan art. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you see that shirt, you just remember I don't see shit from it.
Well, it's like even when people think you made shirts, you did. Like when that dude James your shirts was selling them at that con in Tampa Bay or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
Makes people think you're getting a big check from it or something. You ain't seeing shit.
That's what he told him. I gave him a big fat check. I'm like, you really? All right, I want to see if that delay is being caused by the grad maps. So let me just merge that art and then yeah, see that delay is being caused by the grad maps. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save a copy. And it has nothing to do with CPU. Like I have a, you know, supercharged PC here. 32 gigs of RAM, high def card, fucking 8 core, fucking super fucking CPU. It's just Photoshop. You know. So we'll just take this, make a copy of that, and then we'll go ahead and merge that together. So we can cut down on. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. But I've never worked at a t-shirt company that really appreciated the artists. You know,
Right.
I mean, there's one guy that does. You met him. You know, but he didn't speak for the whole company. You know, usually how it works is that they're just filled with a bunch of people who think they're artists. You know, like the last place I went to, if I went to their Facebook page, they're on there thanking their sales rep for being the greatest artist guru, and all he does is go to Pinterest and say, "Go knock the shit off," you know.
Right.
I mean, never think to the actual artists that are making it. You know? That's weird, Kyle. That's some weird Photoshop issue.
Ram lighting. It's looking good. Hey Rob,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go to bed.
All right.
Um, it's looking good. I like it. Oh, real quick, do you like where like look at the rock that he's standing on? Is it blurred or is it just not as defined with sharp edges like the
It's
rock
not
that
as
he's
defined, but I can come right in and
right?
do whatever I want, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the way it looks. I just didn't know if you blurred it or it's just because it's not as defined.
Kept it a little softer.
Yeah. All right then. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Apparently. He originated from the cartoon. It's kind of a loser the first time he appeared. A big doofus. But they refined him, I think, in the Archie comics. The toy had a better version of him. Not lately. Been busy with the whole job situation, you know what I mean? The only thing I've even played is some Diablo. It's so hot in here. Doesn't help that I'm drawing on like a heated monitor too, you know? This needs stuff. I just don't have the answers yet. Maybe. Where's my damn? Let me try. It needs more cowbell. There you go. I have to wipe away the perspiration from my monitor so I can see where I'm painting. It's just crazy humid out here. down by 1 at least. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna sit on this for the night because some changes I want to make. I just don't know what I want to make yet, and I'm not gonna sit here and just wait for it to come to me. So that'll wrap it up for tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Kyle, as always, appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Bye.